Hi, I'm Maggie from maggiescrochet.com, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make these gorgeous wall doilies. And I've created these using vintage doilies that I had in a box. So this way you can take your doilies that you crochet or vintage doilies and create a casing around the outside and then attach them to brass rings that they use for macrame. So follow me and I'll show you how it's done. Okay, first I'm going to talk a little bit about the different doilies that I used. These were doilies that I picked up at different antique shows. This doily right here, there's a pattern that matches it, and that is PB069, and it's called Vintage Redwork Doilies. So there is a pattern for this. If you're going to create a pattern, I recommend that you do your doily first and then match your doily, your finished doily, to the ring. And you want your doily to be somewhat stretched onto the ring. And because most of them are done with cotton thread, and they'll just start to sag if they're not done tight enough. But the way I have you mount these onto the rings, you can always tighten them, because the way I've done these is to just create a drawstring in the back, like a little casing for a drawstring. And that's what I'm going to show you in this video, how to do this. So this is a cute little red one. You also might want to think about the color of your walls. The walls in my office are white, so these with the bright colored edges show up the best, and especially the ones with the white inside. But maybe if you have dark colored walls, you'd want to use doilies that had the cream or the white color on the outside. So this is one of them. Here's one here that has white on the outside. And I like using doilies that have like little shells sticking out, or like this one. This is one of my favorites because it's got this long piece sticking out here. So, and then this one's kind of cool because it's got the variegated yellow shells and it looks really good on a white wall. Another way you could do these is to do a piece like this and just crochet the casing around the tips and then draw that onto a ring. But this allows the ring to show quite a bit right here. So that's some of the samples, and now let me show you how to do these. So for this project you will need different size rings. I just bought a ton of different size rings. They have brass rings in the macrame department at a craft store, and now I've seen in Hobby Lobby where they have what's it called, like a silver ring, and some flexible wire, or you could use the paper covered twist ties from garbage bags if you have those. Those work good. So I have about 8 inches, 8 pieces of 4-inch here. And then you want different doilies. And then you have to keep your eye out for doilies that would work good on these. One I could show you here. I'm going to show you, I think I'm going to show you. I wanted to show you a couple that I think wouldn't be good. I kind of was thinking about this one, but I think it's too light and I don't think it would make a good one. If the thread was heavier, maybe I would try this one, but I wouldn't try that one. I have this other one here that I wanted to show you. This one here might be okay. It needs some cleaning. It's kind of dirty here, but I think we could use that one. You'll see what I mean when I get started here. So the two doilies that I think have possibilities right here that I have readily available is this one here, except that it needs a little cleaning here. This one here. And I kind of want to eyeball and see if I have a ring that it's going to fit on. And I'm just going to show you how I would put this one on this ring. I think that would be the easiest to show you. And then this one has possibilities for this size ring right here. But to do this one, I would need to do a chain from here to like right here in the middle and then over to here. You'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. So this one is a little more obvious what I need to do with it. So let me get started here so you see what I'm talking about. Okay, make a slip knot. And I've got videos where I show you how to do a slip knot. And then I'm going to join between any two shells. So I've got this right here. I'm going to go in here. I'm just going to join with a slip stitch. And it really doesn't matter what size hook you use, just as long as you can go into the doily. And the thread that I'm using actually is size 3 Lisbeth, which is more of a sport weight, but I am using crochet cotton. So I'm going to join with a slip stitch right here. I'm going to pull that out and then pull that through the slip knot on my hook. Then I'm going to tighten my slip knot. Now all I need to do is work a chain that'll run across the back from between this shell over to between the next two shells. That's all I have to worry about. So I'm just gonna do, I'm gonna try like 9 at first. So I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I don't want it to pull. I don't want it to be like that where the shell would bunch up. I want it to lay perfectly flat from here to here. So 9, it pulls just a little bit, so I think I'm going to put 10 in there. So you just gauge it just as long as that strand right there from that point to that point lays flat. So then I'm going to slip stitch between the next two shells. Right here, I'm just going to go from the front to the back, yarn over, bring that out, and bring that through here. So now all I got to do is chain 10 all the way around. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then go behind. This is the right side. I'm going to go behind that and slip stitch between the next two shells. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I'm going to go between the next two shells, and I'm going to go all the way around with my chain 10s. See? Like here. They just have to be laying flat, and you don't want them too loose and you don't want them too tight. They should just be, in fact, they are pulling a little bit, but that's okay, because once it gets stretched onto the ring, it'll be alright. So that's why it doesn't matter what hook you're using, what size hook you're using, or the thread. And I almost think the heavier thread is a little bit better, like this sport weight, and especially cotton, because when they go on the ring, I put like a drawstring in here, like this is movable in here. And so there's some tension on that, so you want it to be a strong thread. You don't want it to be something that would break easily. So you just continue around and do chain 10s from shell to shell to shell. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you slip stitch between the next one. So you keep going around just like this. Okay, so now I am going to finish this round, and I'll come back on camera and I'll show you how to join and start the next round. So I've gone all the way around the doily. I've slip stitched between each shell, and I've done a chain 10 between them. Depending on what size hook you use and what size thread and your tension, you might have to chain less or more there. So right here is my last chain 10, and I'm just going to join with a slip stitch to the first space that I worked in. So I started right here, so I'm just going to go right back in there, and I'm gonna slip stitch right there to join that round. Since I did 10, I'm just gonna chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm going to slip stitch into that loop. That just gets me over there, and this is not gonna show in the back, so I don't really care about that. So I'm just gonna leave like that. So now I'm ready to start my round, and instead of a slip stitch, you could do a single crochet here, which I'm going to do. So I'm going to chain 1 here, and I'm going to work a single crochet. So now I'm just going to chain 10 again. You just stay with the same number, and you just do chain 10 and single crochet in each loop around. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then I just grab that loop and I single crochet in there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Grab the next loop from round 1 and single crochet. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then go back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I'll finish this round and then we'll try getting this onto the ring. Okay, I'm ready to finish up round 2 of the casing, and I'm back to where I did my little chain 5 to get over to the middle here, and I did my last chain 10, and I'm just going to slip stitch in the first single crochet like that. And then I am going to finish off. So and to finish off, I just make another chain, and then I cut back here. Let me do it back here. And then I pull that out, and that locks it. Okay, so for your drawstring back here, you can chain. The ideal way to do this is to just chain a long chain, longer, about at least 12 inches longer than what the circumference of this, and so that you can tie it like in a bow in the back, because you want to be able to take this off if you want to wash it, or if it starts to sag, you could pull it in a little bit. So ideally, you would just make a chain to feed through the casing that you just created. But for this demo, I am just going to use a strand of yarn, but you could just make a chain and that would be a little bit stronger. So if you're going to use, you can use the thread, and if you're going to do that, you just have to make sure that you can go around the entire ring and have plenty extra too. So I'm going to cut my thread right here, and this is the ring. I'm on the wrong side. The right side is face down here on my table, and my goal here is to get this doily stretched onto the ring and then run the thread through it. Some doilies are harder than others to get this done, but hopefully it'll go really easy. You want to make sure all the little shells stay out of the casing. So right here, I can use my wire now to go where where round 1 went between the shells. I can just go right there and wrap a piece of wire on that so it stays on the ring. So I'm just going to twist it around and leave my these edges out, so you got to be really careful. And then I want to get this whole thing pretty much wired onto the ring first before I put my casing in, because otherwise I'll just be fighting with it. I've done so many of these. When you can do really big ones of these. There is a website online, it's called the Macrame Superstore, and they have rings that are like 23 inches big or 19. They're pretty big. So over here is my slip stitch between the shells right here, and that's what I want to just kind of like attach to the ring. And then I'm going to twist, I'm just bringing that wire through and then just twisting it so it stays on there. And then I'm gonna try to do one on each of the 4 sides. And see, I did this one first, and then I went across and did the other one over here. So right here, I'm gonna do this one. And I want this casing part right here, I don't want that to go into the wire. I just want to do it right over that slip stitch between the shells. Okay, there's that one. And I want all this to stay up here. Okay. Once you get it all on there, it's not that bad. Okay, so right here, I'm going to put another one. Okay. All right, so now I take, I've got a yarn needle right here, and these are my 2 ends that I need to sew in right here. So I'm going to try to get those out of the way so that I don't get in the way. And right here to start, I am going to attach, I'm going to secure this just a little bit. I'm going to go around my single crochet here. And I'm going to pull this all the way through to the end, and then I'm just going to tie 1 knot because I don't want it to be permanent. So I'm just going to tie 1 knot so it doesn't slip out, and then I have to start over again. So all I got to do here is go through the last round of loops. And you may find that you need to do more than 2 rounds of the loops, but all I'm doing is pulling up that chain 10 and then going from the front to the back through it, like that. And then when I pull this, it'll be like a drawstring casing, and it'll hold the doily onto the ring. See how that is? So I can pull it, but you don't want to pull it too hard because I only have 1 little knot down there securing it. Actually, that knot wants to come out already. Okay, so if I hold that knot there, then I can pull it, and you can see how it's gonna pull in and wrap around. So I'm just gonna go through every single one of these loops like this. And those wires, all they're doing is holding it on the ring for you while you work. So you might need more you know, pieces of wire to secure it. Now I'm back to where I started right here. Didn't take long to get there. I'm going to go right here, and I'm going to make sure all the shells are out and everything's where I want it to be. So I've come all the way around with my string back to where I had my little where I tied the beginning to the single crochet stitch. So I'm going to very carefully take that out, and now it's free in there, and I have my both ends of this thread right here. One's coming from this side, and this is where I started over here, and I want to tie a knot with these. You might want to like go like put the end of the knot over a couple of times, like wrap it like this. It's like a birthday present when you try to tie the bow. Okay, so now watch what happens. I'm just gonna pull this, and I don't want to pull it so hard that all the shells land up in the back of the piece. I want them to stay in the front, and I want it to be pulled equally all the way around. So I might go over to here. I see that this is like way out here and this is way in here, so I'm gonna pull this so it's kind of like even all the way around, and I think that's about right. You might want to flip it over and check on the other side and make sure that's what you want. But I think that looks really good right there. And see how my shells are free on the outside edge. So I like that. Okay, so with this, I would, you can tie a knot because you can always put a new string in there. Or you could tie a bow just in case one day you want to take it off and wash it or re-stretch it. So if you tie a bow, which is what I'm doing right here, it might be a good idea to take the loops of the bow and tie those in a knot like you do for a little kid for their shoes. So if I can get this through, there we go. Whoa, like that. So I just tied a knot with a bow so it won't come undone. So just like that. And then I am going to, this end landed up short enough to just leave, and then this end I'm going to cut, and then I'll sew these in. Then you go around and take your wires off. You don't want to keep those on. These would make great gifts. And they're a great way to display your work if you've done the doilies yourself or if you've inherited doilies. Okay. Here we go. You ready? Okay, there it is. Now in this one, it might look pretty too to try to find this same color of thread or something similar and crochet a little pansy and put it in the middle, and that might add a lot to this too. And it's a good idea to clean that up too. So anyway, that's how I create the wall art doilies, is what I call them. And I hope that you give this a try, and I hope that you subscribe to our channel. And I would love, love, love to see pictures of the doilies that you create and hang and decorate or give as gifts. I'd love to see them. So thank you very much for watching, and visit us at maggiescrochet.com.